In this video, I am going to show you how to build, grow, and change your self-image so that you can release more of your untapped potential into this world. Hey, my name is Todd Thomas. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you're looking for encouragement, inspiration, motivation, and coaching for releasing more of your potential into the world, start by subscribing now so you don't miss anything. This video is about building, growing, and changing your self-image so that you can accomplish any goal that you can conceive or that you desire, and so that you can release more of your untapped potential into this world. Now, I recorded this lesson, self-image conditioning, some time back, and I recorded it as an audio. And it has more than just theory, although we will talk a lot about the self-image. I will give you practical steps and tell you exactly what to do to build, grow, and change your self-image. Listen to it right now. This process does one simple thing if you'll just trust it. It works. When it comes to getting results, sadly, all too many people don't know that they must get this one thing right, and if they don't, they will not achieve any goal they set their sights on. Any goal. It's important that you understand that you will never consistently or permanently outperform the image that you have of yourself, your self-image. What is the self-image? The self-image is the opinions you have of yourself. It is your own personal blueprint of yourself. It is your roadmap of where you are going and how far you can go. The self-image defines and limits your possibilities. Your self-image is the sum of the things you have chosen to believe to be true about yourself. That is so powerful, I want to say it again. Your self-image is the sum of the things you have chosen to believe to be true about yourself. The good news is the self-image can be changed, modified, and improved to allow for greater achievement, regardless of the level of success you've achieved in life. Here is the most important question you can ask yourself. Look in the mirror, look into your own eyes, and ask yourself this simple but powerful question. Is there untapped potential in me? If we are honest with ourselves, the answer for anyone and everyone must be yes. This is best illustrated showing you living inside two boxes, a large box and a much smaller box, the one you are inside of. The larger box in its entirety represents our real limits, our full potential. We all have real limits. We do. It's just that they are so far beyond what we imagine they might be, it would stagger us. That's the bigger box representing our real limits. The smaller box represents our self-imposed limits. This is the box that most of us live inside of. The space between the smaller box and the edge of the bigger box represents our area of untapped, unutilized potential. Inside the small box, the potential of what is possible for us is severely limited. With purposeful goal setting and self-image strengthening and conditioning, you can expand the smaller box of your limit, sometimes even overlapping the edge of the bigger box, into an area of previously unconsidered possibilities. This is peak performance. Your area of untapped potential is huge. The distance between the smaller box, our self-imposed limits, and the edge of the big box, your real limits, is so great it's staggering. This is true for you and all of us. I don't care how big you've made it already or how big you're succeeding now. You have tremendous capacity for more. I am constantly telling people, and I'm telling you now, you have the capacity to achieve so far beyond what you are achieving today, it's mind-boggling. What I am about to say next, I want you to really stop anything else you might be doing or thinking about and really consider the power and consequences of this truth. We all know and agree that we have untapped potential inside each one of us. We know we live inside the smaller box of our self-imposed limits. But what about all that untapped potential? Consider this. Your potential has a purpose. Think about that for a moment. I mean, really think about that. That potential that you have been blessed with is there for a reason. It has a purpose. We were not put on this earth to have our potential untapped, unused, or underutilized. There is a purpose for that potential. So where does that realization leave us? Hopefully, it leaves us with a burning desire to realize the fullness of our potential, or at least we should feel the desire, in fact, obligation, to push that inner box out as close as we can get it to the outer box. So how do we do that? The self-image is the key. I said earlier, and I'll say it in another way again, you will not long outperform or escape your self-image if you outperform it at all. If you do, and many do accomplish this at times, until they fall victim to the snapback effect. The snapback effect can be best illustrated by the person who tries to lose weight, but they have a fat self-image. They may, through the limited and sustained ability of willpower, be able to avoid junk food and find time to exercise. But unless they actually change the image they have of themselves, eventually willpower will give out and they will snap back to the original lifestyle and weight will come back on. The person who considers themselves to be a failure type person may take strides, but will find some way to fail in spite of good intentions and willpower, even if a golden opportunity has presented itself. Another way to explain the snapback effect is to take a rubber band and to put it around your pinky and your thumb. Now pull them away from each other until the rubber band is taut but not stretched yet. This is the real size of the rubber band. Let's consider the rubber band to be your self-image. Now, force your fingers as far apart as possible until the rubber band is stretched far out. Now hold your fingers with sheer muscle and willpower for as long as you can. Hold them there, say, for the next 3 weeks. I'm kidding, of course. Try just 5 minutes or 10. Even if you have the intention of permanently holding them there, what happens? After a period of time, your muscles will tire, and regardless of the willpower exerted, your fingers will give way and the rubber band will snap back to its original size. That is the snapback effect. As I stated earlier, the self-image is the sum of the things we have chosen to believe to be true about ourselves. Human beings will always act, feel, and perform according to what we imagine or believe to be true about ourselves and our environment. I use the word imagine because we think in pictures. We'll come back to imagine and the imagination, but let's stick with believe or belief right now. The things we believe to be true about ourselves in any area of our lives defines the self-imposed limits we have placed on ourselves and defines our self-image. The good news is the most important truth about the self-image is it can be changed. And that is what we are here to do today. That is to change what we believe or imagine to be true about ourselves, thereby redefining our self-image to a larger, more healthier, and growing picture we have of ourselves. We have to, in a manner of speaking, dehypnotize ourselves from the beliefs we hold to be true about ourselves. Dr. Stephen Goldbart, renowned hypnotist, said, "Clients visit me hoping that I will put them in a trance and fix their lives. In fact, many of them live in a trance and need a dose of reality." This is empirically true. We live in a state of hypnosis. We are literally hypnotized by our beliefs. The suggestions we make to ourselves about ourselves, if believed to be true, become how we picture ourselves in this world. What we think and believe determines how we feel. How we feel determines our actions, and our actions determine the results we get. It all comes back to our beliefs about ourselves that defines our possibilities and limits of our self-image. What needs to happen is we need to decide to change that programming, to change what we believe to be true about ourselves. We need, for all intents and purposes, to dehypnotize ourselves from the beliefs that are in fact in error about ourselves. We were engineered for success. Any picture of yourself as unworthy or inherently unable to reach your full potential in any aspect of life, or of a person that was meant to fail, must be in error. Let's change that picture. How does one go about changing that picture? Changing, growing, expanding the self-image. First off, it starts with a decision to do so. What is it that needs to be decided? Changing what one believes to be true about yourself. That is the starting point. The good news is that we have 100% control over how we choose to think and what we choose to believe. You can literally choose to believe anything you want. Anything. Whether it actually is or seems to be true, it doesn't matter. You can choose to believe otherwise. If something seems to be true about you, it's because you have chosen to believe it, and that truth proves itself out to you in the results you get. You then affirm to yourself, sometimes directly and sometimes indirectly, the truth of what you believe, often with the following 6 words that imprison the self-image. These 6 words: that's just the way I am. Those 6 words have the power to imprison your self-image into a limiting belief about yourself. But again, it is within your power to choose to believe what you want. We simply are who we decide to be. So to go about changing your self-image, I will prescribe for you several things here. It's key to remember the power of your choice. You can choose to believe anything you want. So let's choose different beliefs that match the kind of person you want to be. You can alter any aspect of your personality that you want this way. For prescription number 1, I want you to get out a piece of paper, preferably a small index card if you have one. Otherwise, any kind of note paper will do. Also, grab a pen and get ready to write. Most people are familiar with affirmations. An affirmation is a statement that you tell yourself about yourself that you either believe or want to be true about yourself. Even though you may be familiar with affirmations, you may have even used affirmations before, but not like the way I'm getting ready to teach you. The old way of doing affirmations has been taught for so long and has flaws that make them hard to accept by one's self-image and therefore mostly unfruitful. Unless, of course, one sticks with them for a long, long time without falling victim to the snapback effect. But I'm going to teach you a better way. A way that works and cuts down the time to acceptance of the desired change. The old way of affirmations is to say, I am this, or I am that. Specific examples might be, I am an expert in my field, or I am a great public speaker. This way of affirmations takes so long to believe and accept. The better way is to incorporate the key word choose. Remember, you can choose to believe anything you want. So rather than the old way of saying, I am this or I am that, you change what you say to include the phrase, I choose to believe. I choose to believe. An example, I choose to believe I'm an expert in my field. I choose to believe I am a great public speaker. The power is in what you choose to believe to be true about yourself and your environment. What you are saying or telling yourself about yourself may or may not actually be true in this now moment. That doesn't matter. You can choose to believe anything you want. If you are just telling yourself, I am this, but you know it's not true, it will be rejected by your self-image. However, again, you can choose to believe anything that you want. So using the word choose will not be rejected by your self-image. Still, repetition is the key. You must repeat what you choose to believe over and over. Repetition is the mother of skill and the key to learning. Repetition is the key to installing new beliefs. So here is what I want you to do. This is prescription number 1. Write down on your paper the phrase, I choose to believe. Underneath that, I want you to write down the following phrase, I'm the kind of person who. I'm the kind of person who. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Now, take your choose statement and write on the card your choose statements of what it is exactly you choose to believe about yourself. For example, I choose to believe I'm filled with overwhelming gratitude every single day. Here are some examples from my own personal I choose statement card that I carry around with me in my wallet. They are, I choose to believe that my self-image is healthy and strong so that I can accomplish anything that I want. I choose to believe I am as good as anyone. I choose to believe that I am more than good enough. These are some of my own personal choose statements that I carry in my wallet and repeat to myself every single day. These are good ones, and I would recommend writing them on your choose statement card. Here's another one. I choose to believe that I have no fear of making mistakes nor fear of criticism. The fear of making mistakes coupled with the fear of criticism are probably the two top things that keep people from achieving just about anything. So for me, I find it important to decide to choose to believe I am not affected by the fear of making mistakes nor fear of criticism. How about you? Write them down. Now, write down some of your own choose statements that you want to install new beliefs on. My encouragement would be to focus on to be goals rather than to get goals. For example, I choose to believe I am a powerful public speaker rather than I choose to believe I make $5,000 per speech from my public speaking business. Focus on what you want to be rather than on what you want to get out of it. If you'll be or become that new person, that new you, the chances are extremely high you will end up getting those things you want. Be, then get. The second part of this prescription is to take the phrase, I'm the kind of person who, and after reading and repeating your choose statements to yourself every day, go back and recite them as, I'm the kind of person who has no fear of making mistakes, nor do I fear criticism. That's the kind of person I am. This is a powerful way to reinforce what you choose to believe to be true about yourself. And that is who you believe the kind of person is that you really are. I'm the kind of person who. Finish that statement in any way you feel will make you who you want to be. Prescription number 2 for you is this. Find someone. It can be a famous person, but doesn't have to be famous or well-known, though it will be easier to find information about them if they are. And thoroughly study this person for a month. Read their biography or an autobiography about them, articles about them, speeches made by them, others' analysis of them. Get so intimately familiar with the way he or she thinks that you can sit down and have a conversation with that person and solicit advice in your imagination. It's a powerful exercise. Find that person who exemplifies all you want to be and are choosing now to believe to be true about yourself. Then choose to believe that you are as good as they are. In fact, as good as anyone.
Do not tolerate, even for a second, the idea that you are prohibited from any achievement because of the absence of inborn talent or ability. This is a lie of the grandest order and an excuse of the saddest kind. Remember, you are who you choose to be. In a subsequent lesson, I will break down the process of how a goal is communicated from our thoughts to the actions we take. But as I close this lesson for you, it is important you understand this one critical message about goal achievement that nobody talks about. Your self-image must be congruent with any particular goal you want to achieve, or you will not hit that goal. Or any goal that does not match the current level of your self-image. That is why it is critically important that you take the action steps I gave you here. Take the action steps I gave you immediately, right now. Do not wait. Do them now. Then read them to yourself out loud in your head and meditate on them for a minimum of 21 straight days without missing a day. After 21 days, continue your repetition daily as often as you can. If you miss a day here or there after the first 21 days, it's okay. Just pick back up the next day. These steps and others that will come in subsequent lessons will help you to grow your self-image to the point of achieving any goal you desire. I'm Todd Thomas.
As you heard in that lesson right there about the self-image, what I said at the very beginning of that was that process that I went through and covered right there. If you'll just do those simple things, that is, and then do this one simple thing, and that is trust it. It works. It works. For those of you that are looking for free online life coaching, free life coaches online, here I am, Todd Thomas, todd-thomas.com. Free life coaching sessions, free life coaching courses. I will post more lessons like this as well. And then, of course, I have many, many other videos. So be sure to click on the circle, my face circle, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything. Make sure you subscribe, and then there's some other videos here that can help you out as well. I'll see you on the next video.